Good morning and welcome to the E class of St. Xavier's High School, Adipur. Today we are going to study science of standard 8, chapter number 2, microorganisms, friend and foe, part 3. So till now we have studied about the microorganisms benefits and their harmfulness of the microorganisms. Now let us see how these microorganisms can be prevented their growth. Okay, how these microorganisms growth can be prevented by the food preservation method. Okay, so let us see the different methods of the food preservation. See, chemical method is the first method. Okay, the first method of our preservation, that is chemical method, and salts, edible oils, these are what they do, the protection of the food from the microorganism which can spoil the food. Okay, so if we add in the food the oil, edible oil as well as the salt, okay, so it will not allow the microorganisms to grow in that food. Salts and edible oils are the common chemicals generally used to check the growth of the microorganisms. Therefore, they are called the preservatives. Okay, we add salt or acid. Acid is acetic acid. What is the common name of acetic acid? That is vinegar. Okay, so the salt, vinegar, that is acetic acid, are used for the preservation. Preservatives to pickle to prevent the attacks of the microbes. If you have ever observed, in the pickle there is lots of edible oil. Okay, so why it is so? Because it doesn't allow the microorganisms to grow. Let us see the chemicals name which are used for the preservatives. Sodium benzoate and sodium metabisulfite are common preservatives. These are also used in jams and squashes to check their spoilage. Okay, so it is also used for the sweet products. Okay, now let us see preservation by the common salt. As we all know, whenever there is, mama makes the pickle. Okay, so what does she do on it? Amla or the mango. Okay, the unripe mango. What should she do? She does the salting. Okay, she puts the salt on it. Okay, so that what will happen? The salt will not allow the entry of the microorganisms. This is also used in the meat and the fish. If the meat and the fish is kept in some salt, okay, so what will happen? The microorganisms will not attack these food. Okay, now let us see. Common salt has been used to preserve meat and fish for ages. Meat and fish are covered with dry salt to check the growth of the bacteria. Salting is also used to preserve amla, raw mangoes and turmeric. Now let us see the preservation by the help of the sugar. Okay, so the jams, jellies and squashes are preserved by the sugar. We all know that the sugar takes the moisture from it. Okay, so what does happen? It becomes sticky and fluffy. Okay, the jelly like structure is formed due to this sugar. What this sugar does, it takes the moisture from it. And if there is no moisture in any food, then what will happen? That the microbes cannot enter the food. Okay, sugar reduces the moisture content which inhibits the growth of the bacteria which can spoil the food. Now let us see the preservation by oil and vinegar. Okay, in our the first slide, I told you about the acetic acid, that is vinegar. So oil and vinegar are used to prevent the growth of the bacteria and the other microorganisms. Okay, what does it do? It doesn't allow the food to get spoiled due to the microorganisms. Use of the oil and the vinegar prevents spoilage of pickles because bacteria cannot live in such environment. Okay, so what does it do? It will not allow the growth of the microorganisms. Vegetables, fruits, fish and meat are often preserved by this method. Okay, so this was about the preservation by oil and vinegar. Now let us see how the food is kept away from the microorganisms by the help of the highest temperature and the lowest temperature. By the high temperature, that is by boiling the food. Okay, and by the low temperature, how we have to keep the food in the refrigerator so that the food the microorganisms doesn't attack it and it does not spoil the food. What the boiling kills? Boiling kills the microorganisms. Okay, so whenever we get ill, what doctor says? We should always drink the boiled water. Why does he or she suggest that? Because when we boil the water, all the harmful microorganisms which are present in the water will get damaged. Okay, they will die and we will not get suffered due to that microorganisms. Okay, so boiling kills many microorganisms. Similarly, we keep our food in the refrigerator. Low temperature inhibits the growth of the microorganisms. See, boiling kills the microorganisms and low temperature inhibits, means doesn't allows the growth of the microorganism. Low temperature doesn't kill the microorganisms. Okay, pasteurized milk can be consumed without boiling as it is free from harmful microorganisms. Okay, now let us talk about the method of the pasteurization milk. So whenever we take the packet one milk, okay, and that packet milk, a method is to be done, that is the pasteurization method, which is done by the industries. Okay, so this milk, what has happened? The milk is boiled at 700 degrees Celsius for 50 to 30 seconds. Okay, and suddenly it has been turned into the cooling temperature. It is set to the coolest temperature to cool the milk. So in this method, from boiling it and suddenly cooling it, okay, what does happen? That the microorganisms growth will get stopped at 700 degrees Celsius, that is the boiling, above the boiling point. What will happen? The milk will get free from the microorganism, and as we will decrease the temperature and we will freeze it, go in the freezer and keep the milk, what will happen? The microorganisms growth will be stopped. Okay, it will be inhibited. Now let us see, the milk is heated to about 700 degrees Celsius for 15 to 30 seconds and then suddenly chilled and stored. Okay, by doing so, it prevents the growth of the microbes. This process was discovered by the Louis Pasteur. So the scientist name is Louis Pasteur. Please, this name is very much important. It can be asked in 1 mark. Okay, and this whole process is known as pasteurization method. Now let us see the next topic, that is storage and packaging. Okay, now we know that how to preserve the food. Okay, now the most important thing is that how to store the food so that the microorganism doesn't attack the food. These days, dry fruits and even vegetables are sold in a sealed air tight packets to prevent the attack of the microbes. That zip type structure is there of a polythene of a bag so that microorganisms cannot attack the food. Now our next topic, that is nitrogen fixation. Okay, so how the nitrogen fixation occurs? Nitrogen is present in our atmosphere in a very highest amount, that is 78%. Okay, that is the highest amount. Bacterium, that is Rhizobium bacteria. Okay, what does it do? It is the most important in the fixing of the nitrogen in the soil. Bacterium Rhizobium is involved in the fixation of nitrogen in leguminous plants. What are the leguminous plants? They are the pulses. Okay, so Rhizobium lives in the root nodules. Okay, there are the nodes. Okay, in the roots. Roots पे छोटी छोटी गांठें होती हैं, that are the nodules. Okay, in that of pulses plants, okay, there the Rhizobium bacteria are present, and there they do the nitrogen fixation. Okay, Rhizobium lives in the root nodules of leguminous plants such as beans and peas, with which it has a symbiotic relationship. Sometimes nitrogen gets fixed through the action of lightning. Okay, when there is rain, okay, the lightning occurs. By the help of the lightning also, the nitrogen gets fixed. The amount of the nitrogen in the atmosphere remains constant. Okay, whatever the nitrogen is converted again and again, but in the atmosphere the nitrogen content, that is 78%, remain constant. Now let us see the nitrogen cycle. How this nitrogen cycle gets fixed from the atmospheric nitrogen and gets it to the plants. Okay, let us see. Our atmosphere has 78% nitrogen gas. Nitrogen is one of the essential constituents of all living organisms as part of the proteins, chlorophyll, nucleic acids and vitamins. So what will happen, that this nitrogen, okay, what does it do for the formation? For the protein formation, nitrogen is needed. For the nucleic acid also nitrogen is needed. For the chlorophyll also nitrogen is needed. For the formation of the vitamins also nitrogen is needed. So in the plants, these things we need for the production of the food, and for these things we need nitrogen, which is the most essential thing. And if you remember that the fertilizers also, okay, that NPK, fertilizer name, that is NPK, its full form is nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium. Okay, so the nitrogen, that is also we are adding in from the beans of the fertilizer and the manure. Okay, so the common and the most important and the common name which has been taken for the farmers, by the farmers for the agriculture, that is NPK. So we can come to know that the nitrogen is most important for the growth of the crops. Now let us see the nitrogen cycle, how this atmospheric nitrogen gets fixed and again converted into the atmospheric nitrogen. That's why this is a cycle, and due to this cycle only the constituent of the nitrogen in the atmosphere remains constant. So atmospheric nitrogen, there is nitrogen in atmosphere. Now let us see how it gets to the soil and how it gets fixed. Atmospheric nitrogen is fixed by the lightning directly, and compounds of nitrogen in the soil occurs. Okay, the direct method is lightning. Now the second method is nitrogen fixing bacteria fix atmospheric nitrogen. this atmospheric nitrogen is fixed by the bacteria. Okay, now bacteria in turn fix nitrogen into the nitrogenous compound. What will happen? First of all, they will convert from the atmospheric nitrogen to the soil, and the soil will get the nitrogenous compounds by the help of the bacteria. Now these nitrogen compounds are given to the soil. Okay, then from here two way the compounds of nitrogen in the soil are given. First, it is taken by plants, and bacteria turn compounds of nitrogen into gaseous nitrogen. So you can see that the compounds of nitrogen in the soil is also converted back to the atmosphere by again the other bacteria. Okay, here the nitrogen fixing bacteria are different, and the atmospheric nitrogen bacteria are different. Okay, so it gets again back. Okay, when the compounds of nitrogen in the soil is taken by the plants, okay, what will happen? Who will eat the plants? Animals. Animals will eat the plants. Now these plants which are eaten by animals, now these animals will give some waste, they will excrete something from their body. So again they will die. See, nitrogenous waste from excretion and death. Okay, so the excreted part as well as the organism which die, okay, they are again converted into the compounds of the nitrogen in the soil. So this way this nitrogen cycle runs continuously. Okay, and this way the constituents of the nitrogen remains constant. So let us see it in the detailed form. The atmospheric nitrogen cannot be taken directly by plants and animals. So for that, what we need? The rhizobium bacteria for fixing the nitrogen in the plants. Certain bacteria and blue-green algae. There is one algae, that is blue-green algae, okay, present in the soil, fix nitrogen from the atmosphere and convert it into compounds of nitrogen. Once nitrogen is converted into these usable compounds, it can be utilized by plants from the soil through their root system. Okay, now nitrogen is then used for the synthesis of plant proteins and other compounds. Animals feeding on plants get these proteins and other nitrogen compounds. So when the nitrogen is present in the soil, and from the soil who will take? Roots, and roots will forward it to the leaves for the production of the food, and this food will be eaten by the animals and the human beings, and we will get the nitrogenous compounds. When plants and animals die, bacteria and fungi present in the soil convert the nitrogenous waste into nitrogenous compounds to be used by plants again. Certain other bacteria convert some part of them to the nitrogenous gas, which goes back into the atmosphere. Okay, so this was the cycle as I told you. As a result, the percentage of nitrogen in the atmosphere remains more or less constant. Constant means same. Thank you. And one more thing, that is you have to write the question answers in your FAIR Science notebook. Thank you and have a nice day.